Today, I want to talk about reclaiming our self-worth after 40. This is kind of the foundation of the transformation that we're going to be going through and creating our story, recreating our story. As women after 40, there are some societal self-worth myths that I kind of want to debunk. They are based on what I grew up with, and I appreciate that society is changing a bit and these myths are not quite as prevalent as they once were. But for me, as a 56-year-old woman, I had to deal with a lot of these because it was a norm. The biggest one was that we're only moms. Our only self-worth is as a mother. Our children are our entire world. Even if we don't have our own children, we have stepchildren, our only worth is at that as that mother figure, that maternal figure. I really don't believe that that is our only worth. In my previous marriage, my husband would get upset with me because I was constantly looking for my purpose. What is it in this life that I am meant to do? His frame of mind was, well, you're a mother. That is your purpose. And as much as I love my kids, they are not my sole purpose. Yes, at the moment of having them and raising them up, they are part of my purpose in that time, but they are not my sole purpose. They are not the only reason that I am here on this earth. As women over 40, when we are no longer able to have children, when we are empty nesters, our kids have grown up and moved out, it's like that part of us is no longer of value. Our motherhood is not needed anymore. So of course, we think, well, I have no purpose. There's no reason for me to be here. Why am I even on this planet if my whole purpose for being here, my kids, are now gone? So for me, that wasn't satisfactory. I had to find another way to think of what my purpose in this world was. And the other thing is that we're only homemakers, and that goes along with being only moms, but our self-worth is so wrapped up in how our home is a reflection of who we are. And to be honest, I'm a horrible homemaker. That is not my thing. It is not my forte. I hate cleaning. I am not the making breakfast and walking around in my apron and the whole happy homemaker thing is just not me. So that was never in my wheelhouse. I know that there are a lot of women out there who have based their entire self-worth and their whole being on being the perfect homemaker. They throw great parties. They have their kids' friends come over. They have husband's boss and their boss come over, and they make these fantastic meals. And everything's perfect. Everything is in its place. I applaud those women wholeheartedly. Oh my gosh. They are amazing in their talents. But that is not who they are at the core. They are not just a homemaker. There are other parts of them that need to be able to be expressed and be shared. Sometimes as women over 40, we are deemed to not have any business or employment value. This is not just for women, this is also for older men. Younger people come in, they've got new ideas, fresh bloods. We still have value. We have experience, we have knowledge, we have insights that younger people don't have. So, and if we are treated that we don't have value, then and we take that into ourselves and that becomes an internal thing, then we lose our self-worth. And I don't believe that that should be the case. If we are not valuable at a job, then we need to learn how to create and build our own businesses. The last one, which personally I never thought I would really have an issue with, because I've always been tall and thin. So everybody's like, oh, you're in shape, you're great, you look wonderful. But as I've gotten older, of course, I've gained some weight, which I appreciate because I always felt like I was too thin. Now I have a butt. I like that. But things are starting to sag, and they've done that since I had kids. Now things are just starting to shift. As much as I still love my body, I know that there are a lot of women out there who body image is a big issue. You know, the hair turning white. They color their hair. And I colored mine for the longest time up until I was in my 40s. I got to a point where I decided that no longer. I'm coloring my hair for other people, and I'm done with that. Now I'm going to let it go white, and it's for me. If other people don't like it, tough shit. Fuck them. I don't care. But as it grew out, I had more compliments, and I continue to have more compliments on my silver hair than so many other times I did in my life with when I colored it. So our self-worth is so wrapped up in our body image that as we get older and we become women of over 40, it's even more so wrapped up in that because things are starting to shift even more. We go through menopause and we gain weight and things are moving all over the place and we're like, what the hell? I didn't used to have a tummy, or I had a tummy and now it's even bigger, or my boobs are sagging even more, or all kinds of things. I'm losing muscle mass and now I'm even flabbier than I was before. And our self-worth is so wrapped up in that we need to shift what our self-worth is now based in. That's what I'm going to talk about, is what we can shift our self-worth into. Things that are more valuable than these things that other people have put us into boxes as being valuable. Our only being moms, being homemakers, our value on what we can bring to a job or our business, and our body image. These are things that we do not necessarily need to hold on to as our value. Now, as women over 40, we have the benefit of privilege and the benefit of our years to be able to rediscover ourselves, to reinvent ourselves. The whole basis of this whole changing our stories, this is how we do it, is by discovering the different parts of us that we have pushed down and pushed aside because we were labeled as these other things. We were labeled as moms, as homemakers, as this beautiful woman, and this is all that you've got is your body, and your looks are the only thing that make you important. Now we have the choice and the amazing ability to make the time to rediscover who we really are at the core. So reconnecting with that playful, creative side of ourselves, the piece of ourselves that has been hidden for so long because we've been pouring ourselves into other people. Everything around us, we've been pouring ourselves into our home and our children and our families. Other people around us, we've been pouring into them. Now is our time to pour into ourselves. Rediscover what it is about ourselves that we want to bring to light. What is it that we want to bring out into the world? This is a great time to experiment. Experiment with different modalities of art, of music, of writing, of business, of building. I've discovered that I love physically building things, working on the houses, using a hammer and screwdrivers and drills and, grinders, all of these manly tools. I love using those things. I love learning how to move big equipment, backhoes and excavators and those kind of things, big tractors. I love learning all of these things. And I never would have thought that would have been something that interests me. But because I've allowed myself to be in position where I am able to use those tools, and because I'm with someone, Roy, who encourages that, I've had the ability to learn more about the things that I really enjoy doing. I love art and I love sewing and I love all those things that I use, like making quilts. I love doing that. Making sewing clothes. I love doing that. But that's not the only thing that I love doing. And so experimenting with different modalities beyond the homemaker and the mom modalities. Maybe you're an amazing cook. Maybe you're a fantastic baker. But what is it beyond that you've always wanted to try? What is it beyond the normal mom and homemaker, the way I look? What is it beyond those things that you've always wanted to experiment with? And start experimenting, start playing, start figuring out, okay, If I don't know how to find out about these things, then we're going to go into journaling. You know, I love journaling. It is my favorite. So let's go over some prompts and some techniques of journaling that can help you to discover what it is that you want. What is it that you love to do? So I'm going to give you two prompts, and they're very easy. The first one is more of a brainstorming, and it's, what do you love to do? What do I love to do right now that I can think of? And write down everything. What is it that you enjoy doing right now? Maybe it is baking. Maybe it is cooking. Maybe it is organizing and, you know, being able to create dinner parties and setting those up and putting everything together that's needed for a dinner party. Maybe that is something you love to do. So how can you expand on that? Once you've got your list of all the things that you love to do now you can take that list and brainstorm other ideas off of that. Let's say you love entertaining. If you love entertaining and love, figuring out how many people I need to feed, what do I need to be able to feed them, what am I going to be cooking, how do I set up the plates and the dinnerware and the table setting and the environment. If all of these things are things that you love to do, then how can you bring more of that into your life? How can you share that knowledge with other people? Because I don't know how to do that stuff. I would love to learn to some degree because I'm not a big entertainer, but at the same time, to have a dinner party once in a while would be nice. What do I need to do that? I have no idea. Maybe you're a cook and you love cooking traditional meals, meals that remind us of home. So sharing those recipes and how to cook those could be something that you share with the world. That could be your thing. So taking that list of your things that you love and brainstorming additional things that you could do, offshoots from those different things. The second prompt is, what were things that you loved to do as a kid? And even not even as a kid, but with your kids. So when you were younger, I love getting on the floor and playing with my kids. And while we were doing that, we were drawing, we were writing stories, we were making up silly songs. So, artist, musician, creator, offshoots of the things that you used to do when you were younger can be things that you can maybe try and experiment with now. What would you love to learn more about? Business, how to do home renovations. So, as part of my knowledge was YouTube and learning how to change out a toilet and learning how to repair a ceiling fan, how to, change out the light fixtures in the house, learning how to change the light switches so that I could have toggle light switches instead of flip light switches. All of these things that I've had other women say, oh my gosh, I could never learn how to do that. Yes, you can. YouTube is an amazing thing. I just saw a video this morning that I thought was perfect. A young man was asked how he learned how to build an entire house by himself. His answer, YouTube. Everything in this house that he built himself, from the wiring to the plumbing to everything, he learned on YouTube and figured out how to ask specific questions to be able to get the answers of the videos that he needed. And you can do the same thing. So what is it that you've always wanted to do that you could go and find and research and get the information that you need to be able to learn how to do that? There's got to be people that you know that can, even if they don't know how to do it, we're all 6 degrees of separation from somebody who does know how to do that thing. So you need to ask. Don't be ashamed to ask your friends and family, hey, I would really love to learn about whatever it may be. Do you know somebody? Or do you know somebody that knows somebody that could help me with this? And ask. Expand your horizons and experiment with different things that you would like to do and become more of the person that you really want to be. So the other thing is techniques. So techniques of journaling that maybe will help you to decide what it is that you'd like to do. Two of my favorites are stream of consciousness writing. And stream of consciousness writing is just writing for 20 minutes, half an hour. You can start off with 20 minutes. But I've stream of consciousness for up to half an hour, 45 minutes, and your hand will hurt. Trust me, your hand will hurt. Somebody's on a bike driving by. Stream of consciousness is great because all you're doing is writing. And you're just writing. Even if you don't know what to write, you still write. I don't know what to write. Something that just keeps the pen and paper moving. Now, here's the thing. It has to be pen on paper because that tactile experience creates a connection in your mind that links into that creativeness. But you can't do that when you're typing. It's not the same. I know that some people will say, yes, it is. I don't feel that it's the same. So handwriting, and your hand will get sore. Trust me, you can take a minute, stretch your fingers, and then keep writing. Initially, you may not get anything. But after doing this for a few times, you will start to get what is coming through. And you can set the intention. What is it that I'm interested in? And just start writing. And sometimes you're going to get things that are really crazy. Like, I want to, learn how to skydive, or I want to learn how to bungee jump. Not my thing. Skydiving, yes. Bungee jumping, no. But that doesn't matter. Even if it's not something that you would actually do, still write down all the crazy, all the weird, don't judge it, just write. All right. The second thing is alternative handwriting. So what I do, and I think we've talked about this before, is ask a question with your dominant hand. For me, that's left-handed. Ask a question with your dominant hand. What is it that I would be interested in doing? And then answer with your non-dominant hand. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so my writing with my non-dominant hand is actually pretty legible. If you've never done this before, you might want to go back and rewrite what you wrote with your dominant hand so that you can read it. But don't do that until after you have finished with your journaling. What would I like to do? And give me some answers. And allow your hand to just write whatever. Ask questions like, as a 5-year-old, what would I have liked to do? Well, as a 10-year-old, what would I have liked to do? As a 15-year-old, what would I have liked to do? If I had the ability to do anything in the world, regardless of cost or time or knowledge, what would it be? And write it out. So what I'll do is I'll create a journaling prompt, and I'll see if I can figure out how to add it to the bottom of this. I'll have to figure out how to do that. If not, then I'll add the prompt in a comment and I'll pin it to the top. So either way, I'll have some prompts for you down at the bottom and in the comment section so that you can have some idea of the different journal prompts that you can start with. But do the dominant hand, non-dominant hand. It really makes a difference. All right, so now the next thing is setting strong, bold boundaries for yourself. Because we're wanting to transform ourselves, sorry if you can hear that, I apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing because I have no control over that, but if you can hear it, just please ignore it. I'm outside. So setting strong and bold boundaries for yourself allows for you to make the time to be able to do these things, allow for that transformation to happen. No is a complete sentence. If you don't want to do something, just simply say no. If you get backlash or you get complaints or you get the look of, I can't believe that you're making time for yourself, ignore it. Everybody else sets boundaries for themselves. No, I don't want to do that. You're allowed to do it too. Trust me, you're allowed to do it. And yes, say yes to the things that excite you. Say yes to the things that fuel your soul. Say yes to allowing yourself to be able to try things that you maybe never would have tried before. Allow yourself to use those words, yes and no, and that's it. No explanation is needed beyond that. You do not need to justify your answers to anyone other than yourself. Let them complain, let them bitch and moan. That's fine. All right? So setting bold boundaries for yourself. And determining what those boundaries are is going to be on you. We can talk about that in another video, how to set good boundaries and how to hold firm to those boundaries. Because the first thing that you want to do, side note, is set boundaries for yourself. What is it that you're going to allow yourself to do and not? So this whole 30 days of videos, which I've actually gone over now, and doing a video every day is a boundary that I set for myself, in that I want to create a system for myself where I'm doing a video a day. And yes, it is a lot, but I want to do that because I want to get disciplined with myself. So I set a boundary, a promise to myself that I will do a video a day. Now, yes, there have been a couple days where I didn't do a video, but I made up for those videos. Because, again, I set that boundary, made that promise to myself. I'm fulfilling that, because if I can't set boundaries and set promises for myself and fulfill those boundaries, how can I expect that to be for anybody else? How can I expect anybody else to respect my boundaries if I don't respect my own boundaries for myself? It's not going to happen. If I don't respect myself, other people aren't going to respect me either. So the last thing are daily affirmations. Now, daily affirmations that stick, daily affirmations that mean something to me. If I have an affirmation for myself that doesn't feel right to me, I'm not going to believe it. Now, initially, if I have an affirmation that feels right, but I don't believe it yet, repeating it to myself will help instill that and that become a core part of me. But it needs to be something that I at least partially believe. So how do I remember my affirmations, and how do I keep repeating them to myself? So for me, I have affirmations on my mirror. So little Post-it notes I write on my mirrors with dry erase markers. I'm actually creating, I call them short fuzzies, a whole story behind that, but they're little creatures, and on the back they're going to have affirmations, a little story with them, with the affirmations and mottos for building our self-worth and our self-confidence, looking at different pieces of ourselves. And that's going to be the whole basis of these short fuzzies. So I'm going to have some affirmation cards that I'll be able to share with you. And then creating your own. I'll add some with the journal prompts down below as well. They're my affirmations, but you can take them and rework them so that they work for you. Once you recreate those affirmations so that they are something that you can work with, there's a yellow jacket on my phone. So if you see it, that's what that is. What were yellow jackets? Yellow jackets were hardworking, dedicated, fierce. How appropriate that we have a yellow jacket on the, oh, there it is. I don't know if you could see it, but it just flew in front of the camera. Anyway, so creating affirmations that are strengthening, that build your self-worth, that make you feel good about yourself, and put them on Post-it notes. Post them on your phone, on your screen, wallpaper on your phone, wallpaper on your desktop. Put Post-it notes on your refrigerator. Put Post-it notes on your mirror. Put Post-it notes on your doors so that when you leave or you enter a room, that you see these Post-it notes of things that you want to remember, affirmations that you want to say to yourself. We have had Post-it notes posted all over the house in years past. Now I don't do it so much because I've got a lot of them in my head. If I have a new one that I think of, I will put that on the mirror, or I will put that on my phone so that there's something that pops up all the time that I remember. So, self-worth myths that we've debunked. Our self-worth is not linked solely to us being moms, to us being homemakers, to us, being of worth at our job or our business. We can create those for us. Our self-worth is not linked solely to our to our body. We need to rediscover our inner light, reconnecting to that playful, creative side of ourselves that we've hidden. experimenting with different modalities. Journaling prompts, I'll link those journaling prompts and those daily affirmations to the comments section below. The techniques that we've talked about, the stream of consciousness or the alternating right and left hand, setting bold boundaries for ourselves, saying no, that is a complete sentence, to things that drain us, and saying yes to things that fuel us. Daily affirmations, affirmations that stick, are ones that we can at least partially believe in initially. Once we start saying those affirmations more and more to ourselves, then we will be able to actually internalize those. Put them on postcards, write it on your mirror. Like I said, I'm creating cards, affirmation cards, that I'll be able to share with you, and then creating your own. So, reclaiming our self worth can be done. It's not always easy. It's a transformation. It's going to take some work. And yet, if we put our minds to it, as women over 40, we can transform ourselves, and then we can transform the world. So don't forget, live life adventurously. It's the only way to live. Bye.